Hey guys, I figured I would try to put up a video real fast, since I haven't posted in a while, and it's just because I've been busy with work and school, and then this whole coronavirus thing happened, like the pandemic, so I got hit really hard at work, so I've been working non-stop this past week at work, and I'm going to be working non-stop this week, and, I figured I would just review a movie that I seen a few weeks ago before this whole pandemic blew up, and which is The Invisible Man, which came out at the end of February. I think it was February 28th, 2020. And like I said, I seen this movie like about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I really don't. So if I don't remember that much, I'm sorry, but there's other people who have reviewed this movie, so they probably have more better knowledge and good advice of it. But anyways, it's a spoiler-free review. Anyways, so okay, here we go. All right, so The Invisible Man is directed by Lee Whannell, who is known in the horror genre. He wrote the first three Saw movies. He also starred in the original Saw movie. He also wrote some of the Insidious, or all the Insidious movies, I believe, and he also starred in those. And he directed Insidious Chapter 3. Then, last year, or no, 2 years ago, 2018, he released a movie called Upgrade, which is like a sci-fi action kind of movie, which I really enjoy, and a lot of people really enjoyed that one. And then this is like, believe this is his third directorial film, feature-length film. So, and he hit another goal with this one. If you don't know already, the movie was made for $7 billion, or was made for $7 million, and it grossed over $27 million. So the last time I checked, that's how much it grossed. It probably grossed more, but on the initial weekend, it grossed $27 million. So the movie also stars Elizabeth Moss, and I'm not I didn't look up the other people's names, but because she's basically she is the main character in the movie that we have to follow. Um, but anyways, I should have looked up their names too, the other people. But anyways, this is a reimagining of the 1933 Universal monster movie called The Invisible Man, which starred Claude Rains, and it was directed by James Whale, which James Whale previously directed Frankenstein, and then he directed Bride of Frankenstein and some other movies like The Old Dark House. But I don't. But this is his other Universal monster movie he made, the original Invisible Man, and it's also loosely based on the novel of the same name, called The Invisible Man, which was written by H.G.Wells, which I've never read the novel, but I have seen the original movie. Not the sequels, but I have seen the original movie, and I've seen Hollow Man, which this movie gets compared to a lot, but I really don't remember that much about that movie. But anyways, like I said, it's a reimagining of the 1933 movie and also the novel. And this time is about a woman played by Lizabeth Moss who is trying to escape an abusive relationship with her husband. Her husband is a rich scientist. We don't really get much of the backstory on him. What we know is basically from what Elizabeth Moss has said about him. That's all we really know. We don't really get to see his face until like until the end of the movie, and we don't really know what his personality's like. So, but he is this rich scientist. He studies optics and metaphysics and stuff like that, and he builds this invisibility suit. And of course, Moss's character is the only one who knows about this suit. So when weird shit starts to happen, like we're supposed to believe that it's supernatural events because the character, the husband, supposedly kills himself and is taunting her. And I guess at the beginning, if you've seen the original movie or read the book, you would know that the guy is able to turn himself invisible. But yeah, I guess we're supposed to believe at first that it's supernatural, but then later on in the movie, he actually find out that he has built this invisibility suit, and he's taunting her with this, trying to make her go crazy, so she can't, trying to make her go crazy so she can't get his money, and this and that. Basically just trying to ruin her life. It's a, it's a commentary on narcissistic abuse and gaslighting. Um, but I really enjoyed this movie. Um, I really enjoyed Upgrade by Lee Whannell from 2018. I thought I'm not really a big fan of action movies. I do like some of them, but it's like certain ones I like. I like it when it's mixed with horror, sci-fi. I don't mind. Like I like Terminator, RoboCop, Mad Max. Like I like stuff like that, Blade Runner, stuff like that, and basically that's what Upgrade was. It was a more low budget movie, but it had elements of like Terminator and like RoboCop and stuff like that, because it's about a guy who gets a thing implanted in his brain, like a AI, and it takes over his body. And it had some great action scenes in it, like fight sequences, like the gore was really good in it, and the camera movements were really good, and it was a really good story too. And as I know, it's not a review of Upgrade, but anyways, The Invisible Man was the same way, but more like towards the thriller and horror side. Um, this movie like builds up suspense. Like it is so tense. Like the opening scene when she's trying to escape from her boyfriend. It's like very like quiet and tense, and like anytime she makes a little noise, you're like afraid like he's gonna get up and like go after her. And yeah, I love that, how they built suspense throughout the whole movie like that. And I know some people say, oh, it drags on, but I mean, it worked for me. I like suspenseful movies anyways, so. Also, how the stuff they did with, like, the Invisible Man, I thought that was really cool. Like, at first, it's just, like, little subtle things, like I said, at first you think it's something supernatural that's going on, like there's like a ghost following her or something. And cause like there's like one point where he turns up a stove and like tries to like set the house on fire. There's a cool scene where like the sheet where she's sleeping at night, and he pulls the sheets off for her, but I'm not spoiling too much because some of this was shown in the trailers. So like she throws, there's like the sheets on the ground, and then she sees like footsteps in going up towards her, and that I thought that was really cool. Um, the the fight scenes were really great too, because it's one person fighting an invisible person, like so it was pretty cool how they did that. Like there's this really great scene where Lizabeth Moss and the Invisible Man get into it, and I thought that was a really great fight sequence. There's a lot more. There's like one in a hospital in the corridor. I think this would be like the most memorable scene in the movie. And that scene was like really gory and violent, but I loved how it was shot and all that. It was really great. And the showdown at the end, not the ending, but the end, in the house. That was a really great scene too. Great action sequence. I loved Elizabeth Moss in this movie. She really did look like she'd been through a lot. Like, she's so, like, haggard looking. I mean, she's not. I'm not saying she's unattractive. I'm just saying, like, it looks like she's been through a lot. She's, like, very haggard looking, and, like, she's been beaten down most of her life. And you feel so bad for her, like, whenever, because she's the only one that knows that what her boyfriend was capable of, that he found a way to turn himself invisible. And, but anytime something happens, like, there's this one scene in the movie, I don't want to spoil it, this is why I like doing spoiler reviews, but I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, where someone gets hurt, and they're like blaming it on Elizabeth Moss character, but it's actually the Invisible Man that attacked that person, and you feel so bad for her because like this dude is just fucking with her so bad, trying to make her look like an awful person, and trying to make her seem like she's going insane. And that scene was a shocker too when that person got hurt. Because it's just like, holy shit, like it just came out of nowhere. And then there's a great scene in a restaurant too that was like very caught you off guard. And I heard some people critiquing that scene like, oh, how could they get away with that? There would be cameras there, this and that. It's like, I don't know, like, the dude's invisible. He could have, done something with the cameras to make it, to make that event happen. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, like, I mean, it's hard doing a spoiler-free review, but the movie's still kind of new, so I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved Elizabeth Moss in it. I loved how she conveyed, her loneliness and, like, the fact that no one believes her until, like, the very end when she's in danger and other people are in danger. And, she depicts like that victim, like she's very, like most abuse victims, like they're very like timid, meek, and she kind of builds up throughout the whole movie, and she becomes like a badass near the end of the movie, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. I know I didn't go into too much detail, but I mean, like I said, it's a spoiler-free review, and there's other people that reviewed this movie that have done a better job reviewing it. Um, I just don't know what more to say. I mean, it's shot beautifully. There's a great opening credit scene with like waves crashing on rocks, and like when the water goes up and comes back down, like a name appears up on it, and it, like, the wave crashes up, goes back down, another name pops up. I thought that was really creative. Um, there's also I'm trying to figure out what else to say. Yeah, it's shot beautifully. It was surprising what they could pull off with such a small budget. Like, you wouldn't think that it was $7 million, because of because most of the time the character is invisible, so they would have to use heavy CGI. And when they reveal like him, because they do reveal him later on in the movie, like his invisibility suit, and that's like CGI too. So it's like I don't know, they did a good job with the CGI suit. I heard people critiquing that too, saying it was looked too fake, but I was like, it didn't bother me. It looked pretty good for a low budget horror movie. Um, yeah, I should mention some of the other actors in it. I need to look up their names. I know I should have done this before. Mainly the two other actors that were good were Storm Reed and Aldous Hodge, who are like Elizabeth Moss character moves in with them, and they are a father and daughter, in a father-daughter situation. So, they're like basically her caregiver. She stays with him. The father's a cop, and Aldous Hodge was like a really great character. He's very sympathetic, and he wants to take care of her, but she's like, he thinks she's putting his daughter at risk. But they show like this great friendship they have building up, and like the distrust that comes later on. But yeah, he was a really good character, because there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, this movie's woke. It's a woke movie." Like, whatever. Like, it doesn't say all men are bad, because he is actually a good male character in the movie. But yeah, that's another. I didn't really want to address it because I'll talk about it on Facebook with people, but like on YouTube is different, I guess. But I was getting so tired. I was getting so tired of people calling this movie woke. It's not woke. Like, yes, it deals with a domestic abuse victim and like what she goes through, but it is not a woke movie. It doesn't tell you that all men are bad, that you know that believe all women shit, because in the movie, like, they're trying to make her seem like she's crazy. And there's just some other things in it too that doesn't make it woke, in my opinion. But anyways, that's my review of The Invisible Man. It's a rambling review. I didn't know really much else to say about it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I know that Universal is releasing some of their movies that they to VOD that they had in theaters like for a few weeks because of the coronavirus. So this one, I believe, comes out today on Friday the 20th, March 20th. You can go rent it, but I think it's like for $20 though, so I don't think you might want to wait if you don't have the money to, and watch it later on when it comes out at a cheaper price to rent. But yeah, I would highly recommend watching this one. I want to see the other movie, The Hunt. Maybe I'll review that one. But anyways, that's my review.